Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name's Giles and this is my 2004 Hilux. So lately, last couple of weeks, I've been getting really into this. I just bought the dog box. It is 800 wide, 1770 long and 860 high. It is fully enclosed with gas struts either side. So the reason why I'm doing this video, I love to keep note on everything. I love to keep track of everything. I love to know what I did right, know what I did wrong, and I love to bring you guys along while doing it. So the idea with this little series, if you guys don't know, and for my previous subscribers, I'm more into drifting than I am full driving, but the last month, I've kind of been put off the whole drifting scene, the fact that always fixing a car, always spending big dollars on, you know, something that you can only drive once a month. But with this is my everyday rig. So I daily this every single day, and I love my four-wheel driving, I love my camping, and I love it being a good setup tow rig. So I thought I'd bring you guys along and kind of take you through my journey with setting up my 2004 Hilux. So yeah, like I said, I pretty well bought this car as it is. I painted the tray black, put the weather shields on and bonnet protector. Other than that, I bought it how it is. And I've also purchased the dog box. So my idea with this dog box was to be able to fit my King's 45 litre fridge on a slide, drawer set on the other side. It would fit all my gear camping, all my tools, all my fluids, everything. All in this one box, which is not very big, it's only little. So to give you a rough idea, I've still got roughly a whole dual cab tray space left. With these boxes, they have a lip. So obviously when you have a fridge slide, you need to pretty well have it even. So the first step I will be doing to this box, to set it up as a budget full drive rig and a budget touring rig, I'll be putting a false floor. Kind of level out everything so you can slide the drawers without having a lip at the box. So my lip is 100mm, so I'm kind of already halfway through this. I wasn't originally going to vlog this, but I thought I'd give you guys, you know, a bit of a run through of what I'm doing, because I am on a budget. I'm learning as I go. I have never done any of this before. I'm asking questions. I'm watching other people on YouTube, which is why I'd like to dumb it down a little bit and just walk through you guys with it and to learn. So yeah, we'll pull all this excess stuff out and we'll start from scratch. So what I've done so far, guys, I did all this off camera, but I have ran my footings already. So I have already mounted my two footings on each side, which run straight through the footing, straight through the box, and then through the tray, which is nut and bolted. So it's actually pull fencing. So I went into Bunnings the other day, and I struggled to find, because like I said, I have to raise it 100mm, which 100mm of steel, 100mm of wood, especially being solid wood, it's going to be heavy. And we had to run 2 lengths of 1600 the whole way. And I was not keen for that, because one, this thing's a V6, and any extra weight that we can knock off, I'm happy to do, because once I put some bigger wheels on it, the fuel economy is going to go down. So it's 65 by 65. It's pretty strong, pretty solid. Ignore the color of it. This is the only color that was this thick and this size. So, so saying that, so we could get them in lengths of 2100. I needed 1600 lengths. So obviously we had to cut them down to make them fit, which is good because we get some left over. For example, if you want to put any in the middle or whatnot, I wasn't going to use steel because that's really heavy, especially in a size like this, in that thickness. And solid wood is just, yeah, again, so heavy. I struggled to find this. So if you guys are looking for anything similar like this to run your flooring, go to your local Bunnings. I found it in the fencing section. This stuff is pretty good and it's very light. So yeah, as I said, I ran those length across, 1600 each. They have a little bit of gap on that side, but it's not really going to matter. Once I put the plywood over it, it should be sweet. So next step would be applying the plywood. So I have a cutout. Please ignore the cutting. I had to use a grinder and it was not easy. So I don't actually have the tools for this. Like I said, I'm into drift. I'm usually into drifting, which I have all the tools for, but as soon as it comes to cutting wood, I actually had to rummage through the shed to find a like a wood saw. So anyway, so I have cut that up, measured all that out, and it fits pretty well. You'll see on the sides here, I had to cut them out because where the gas strut mounts to on the bottom, the only way you're going to fit it without cutting squares in the corners is to cut that off, get a smaller gas strut and mount it somewhere up here. I wasn't about that. I'd rather cut a little bit of wood than cut up my box. So because it's only 65 high, I'm going to have to run 2 lengths of my ply. So this ply is 12mm thick, and so theoretically if I run 2 on top of each other, it's still not going to clear it completely, but and hopefully with a bit of carpet on top, it's just going to clear. It's definitely going to be a little bit under, but at the end of the day, I can always space the drawers and the fridge slide up. I'm not going to cut the exact same length out again. I'm not going to bother. I'm going to use my excesses, cut them up so I can fit them across, because there's not going to be a lot of weight on the corners here. Plus this ply is pretty thick, so I'm not really going to be flexing on corners and stuff like that. I'm going to measure this up, divide it by, I don't know, 3 or 4 in lengths, just from one footing to the other footing, just to give it that extra height in the middle, and that's extra support. Bit of overhang, which will give it some strength anyway. So on this side here, I'll measure up how much I need on that side, and yeah, we'll chop her up and then we'll start teching them. Alright, so the first layer of plywood's in, everything's cut. It's got a little bit of gap in the middle. And I've also left a little bit of a gap here for the locking mechanism. It's only pretty thin, but yeah, I'll also have to cut out this piece and that piece, because the other night when I did it, I couldn't actually lock my box properly. So yeah, something just to keep in mind when you're doing that. But these leftovers of the aluminium, I'm actually going to drill them tech screw them into the bottom of this plywood. So it's not going to be bolted into the box, but it's going to be an extra support if everything in my box does get a bit heavy and it puts a bit of stress on the plywood. I've got that support underneath, but it's good because I don't actually have to drill into my box. That's not going anywhere. If that was the right height, I wouldn't even bother putting the second ply on it, because that is solid as, and it's not even mounted in properly yet. For future reference, I've put a tech screw here and here. I've actually marked it so I know where I'm putting them, so when I am mounting my drawers and my fridge, etc., I'm not going to be trying to drill into my tech screws. So I just thought that'd be a good little idea for the future. Yeah, little stuff like that, just to make sure you're not double drilling into things and making your life hard. Make your life easier while you can. Alright, so I've tech screwed that middle support on the back of the plywood, and now I'm gonna tech screw it into the box. Alright, so the top piece is already cut. I cut that a couple of days ago. I'm just gonna slip that on. I'm not actually gonna bolt it in yet, just because I do want to carpet it, just to make it look a little bit more appealing than dirty old ply. So slip that in, and that should give you a rough idea of the lip that I've still got there. Not focusing. So it's still 40mm, at least 40mm a lip, which this is only 1.2, which is not even going to be half of it, so we might have to double up carpet. Alright, so that's with the final layer, the top layer on. As you can see, there's a very little lip there now. And honestly, I thought it would make the box look a lot smaller. So ideally, on this side, so this is the passenger side, I'd have an awning, a flat rack, and then I'm going to have an A-frame, like an A-pillar on the back. and then fridge slide, cooking utensils and whatnot here, and on the other side I have a drawer set with everything else, recovery gear, cooking gear, etc. Just a whole lot of everything that can't be out in the weather. I don't actually have the slide here at the moment, nor do I have the drawers, so I'm going to test fit my 45 litre King's fridge in it. So pretty well, it's got plenty of height. I can open it in the cab. It's not going to sit that close because I obviously have to shut it still. Yeah, probably sit about there. I'll try and get it as closest to one side as possible, just so I have enough space to fit everything really down this end. Later down the track, if it gets to a point where I want this side to be separate from that side, see the fridge slide is going to be here, so I was going to stop things from moving side to side here. But at the back, I'd like to do a little cut-off point, just so where it, so just behind the fridge, so I can kind of have all my cooking utensils on this side, or vice versa, all my recovery gear. And if I need to block it off, I can. Plenty of room in there. Once I have the drawers, I'll sit up about here. But yeah, other than that, thank you very much for watching the first part of my budget build Hilux. Alright guys, if you got to this part of the video, thank you very much for watching. So yeah, this will be the first episode of the Hilux build, which is going to be super exciting for myself. And if you guys enjoy it, comment, like, subscribe, tell me what I should be doing different, and enjoy the rest of your